Good afternoon, professor, class. My name's Derek Dixon Lopez, and today I'm going to talk to you about Jeff Bezos. Um, that name will not light a bulb in most people's mind when they hear it. Most people know the names like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. Gates created Microsoft, one of the richest men in the world. Jobs created Apple. They lead the industry in cell phones today. But Bezos, he's actually the richest man in the world. He is the creator of the largest online retail shopping experience in the world. And that retail shopping experience is called Amazon. Everybody knows him. I know him. I use him daily. But I'm going to give you a little background on him and his company. So Jeff Bezos was born, actually, Jeffrey Jorgensen, on January 12th, 1945 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His mother and father divorced at a young age, and thereafter his mother married a man named Manuel Bezos. So once they got married, Manuel decided to adopt Jeffrey, and they changed his last name to Bezos. So that's where he got the last name Bezos. It wasn't his birth name, but when his parents got married, they changed his name. Shortly after they moved to Houston, because his father took a job as an engineer for ExxonMobil. Bezos was very smart as a young kid. And even in high school, his friends said he was very competitive. He won multiple awards, science awards, math awards. And he was actually smart enough to graduate valedictorian of his class, and he received the National Merit Scholarship. So he then went on to Princeton, graduated from Princeton in 1986 with a bachelor's in science and engineering and computer science. After graduating Princeton, he had like a 4.2 GPA, so he had job offers galore. He decided on a startup financial company. There, his job was to build a network for international trading. He worked there about 3-4 years. Then he actually left and went to another firm, D.E. Shaw and Company. It's like a promotional company, and in 4 years he became senior vice president at the age of 30. So he was pretty young, moving pretty fast. Kind of not what he wanted to do. He knew he had a calling for something else, so he decided to quit and start his own company. That company would be known as Amazon. He started it in his garage because that's the only square footage he could afford. So in 1994, Amazon was created. He got the name Amazon because he wanted to be large like the Amazon River in South America. And he liked the letter A. So it was the beginning of the English alphabet, so he chose Amazon. There were a lot of names he was going back and forth with. He really liked the name Relentless.com. Friends told him that was pretty bad. It didn't sound too good. So he still purchased that name. If you actually type in Relentless.com, it'll take you to Amazon because he still likes that name. But Amazon is what he set his company name to. They started in Seattle because it was a hub for technology. University of Washington is in close by, so there's a lot of computer science graduates that he could hire there. Initially, he invested in his own company, $10,000. Over some months, about 16 months, he was able to get more loans through the bank, about $84,000. His parents actually backed him in some investment money as well with about $100,000. He kind of told his parents, there's a 70% chance that this could fail. He said, I'm only telling you this because, I still want to come home for Thanksgiving if this doesn't work out. But it did. It was going well, and 3 years later, after founding Amazon, he actually went public. So he let investors purchase shares in his company. He raised roughly $54 million, and with that money, he started buying other smaller companies and some of his competitors. He was kind of spending money too fast. It's getting financially distressed. The market kind of stalled, so he was almost bankrupt. But they held off, and the next year, in about 2003, they made a huge profit, like $400 million. I think Bezos is a unique leader. He has a unique style. He calls his style regret minimization framework. So that's not in our textbook. That's just something he came up with. He just doesn't want to look back at his life and wish he did something different. He wants to make sure he does everything he can now and be happy with it when he does decide to retire. So things in our book, he has a great organization structure. He often listens to all of his employees and kind of takes their feedback and then uses that in his business. He does some crazy stuff. He utilizes spreadsheets with all the names of his employees, and that's how he does decision making. He also uses consideration with his company when it comes to his employees and family. He kind of puts a twist on work-life balance. He calls it work-life harmony. He believes that work-life balance implies that you have to do one or the other. And he thinks that if you manage them correctly, then you can do both of them. So he believes in work life and home life with his employees. Another thing I do like is that he doesn't schedule morning meetings. At my job, we have people that schedule meetings at 7:45 Monday a.m. That's too early to come in, and as soon as you get in, going straight to a meeting, I can't stand early morning meetings, but he's decided not to do that. So I do applaud him for that. And then another thing is he only meets with his investors for 6 hours out of the year. So he gives them all the information they need up front, and he doesn't hold off on information. He just gives it to them straight. I kind of like that about him as well. Short and sweet. And then another thing, he was named by Time Magazine as Person of the Year in '99. So, that means that he just was growing and continuing to grow. In 2008, he won the one of the best leaders in America by U.S. News and World Reporting. So I believe he is a great leader. He continues to be a great leader. I wouldn't mind working for him. I mean, it's just he everything he touches is turned to gold. He has a lot of different business ventures. Amazon's one of them. But within Amazon, he has Amazon Prime for $99 a year. You get free 2-day shipping on almost anything. Students, you only pay $49.99. I utilize that. Every dollar off counts. Also with Prime, you can use, you get free movies, free videos, free TV. So Amazon Prime is big. I definitely use it. Another business venture that Bezos uses is security cloud storage. He actually landed a $600 million contract with the CIA in 2013. So all the branches of the CIA use this cloud storage. Then another thing he did when he was young, he invested in Google. A lot of people don't know that. He invested $250,000 in Google. Now that purchased him about 3.1 million shares of stock. So today's money, that's about $3.1 billion. That's a good return on investment. So in my eyes, he's one of the greatest leaders of our time. He's brilliant. His family and friends took a chance on him, and it turned out to be a good one. Now he's dominating the retail market online. He leads by example. I think he's a great leader. And when I graduate, hopefully they put Amazon in Austin so I can apply. Thank you.